Okay, well, hi Karen. Today I am interviewing Karen Mandy with How Bright Can We Shine? And I'm going to go right into the interview by asking Karen, actually, what is How Bright Can We Shine?
Well, hi, Linda. Thanks for having me today. What is How Bright Can We Shine? We are the Good Deeds Network. And I say the Good Deeds Network because I haven't yet found anything remotely like what we're doing out on the internet. So we are a place where women who want to shine by making a positive difference in the world can come together to connect with one another, to collaborate on good deeds projects, and to contribute towards helping other people do good deeds, or other people working on good deed projects. That's basically what we do.
Okay, I love it. And I too have not seen anything like it, anything at all like it on the internet. So congratulations on that. How did it come about?
Well, I was working actually with my business partner for about 2 years. She's actually my best friend from high school, Jane. And we spent about 2 years working with women going through transition, which was primarily women aged about 45 to 60. But we also found a lot of younger women coming into that idea of transition. And working with those women, what we noticed was women primarily and often are driven to want to make a positive difference in the world. There's something innately inside of us that we want to help. We want to help those around us. We want to actually be seen to make a difference. We want our lives to count for something. We want to leave a legacy.
Yep.
And so taking all of that into consideration, what happens is a lot of women either don't have the time to be involved in anything that they would consider impactful, or I think a lot of the time they find that what's asked of them doesn't fulfill something in them. They don't get the opportunity to use their gifts, skills, and talents in a way that is makes a positive difference to them.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what we were noticing with women that we were working with.
Okay, makes sense. I agree. What are some of the things you're working on right now?
Ooh, got lots of good stuff we're working on. We've got a few projects on the site at the moment that are really sort of going great guns. We've got a project called Arts and Crafts for Good Causes, which was started by, it's quite interesting, we have a lady who's in her 60s and a young lady who's in her 20s, and the two of them have come together, and the one is very skillful in knitting and crocheting and the other one isn't. But the two of them joined for, me, but I'm learning, I'm part of the project. So the two of them came together, and what they're using is the skill of knitting and crocheting, and they found an outlet, which is a local hospital, and they now have been commissioned to knit and crochet hats and booties for the prem babies at the hospital.
Oh.
And the beautiful thing is, because we are a global network, that now is having repercussions in South Africa, because we have members in South Africa that are going, that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
They started picking up their crocheting hooks and following the little tutorials, and they are now starting to do the same thing and supply a local hospital in South Africa. And so it kind of goes on from there. So that's one exciting project that we have going at the moment.
Okay, love that. So really someone could do that from anywhere, because there's a need in any country, any state, any city.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you've got the support, even if you can't, like me, you haven't even picked up a crochet hook. But as I said, Anne, who's an expert, has been putting tutorials on there, and she's kind of taking us through the process. And then you've got that support and network of saying, we've even got women who are not part of our network, but that because they're having problems with Wi-Fi, or, you know, they're an older generation and they may be having problems with technology, but they're sitting there knitting and crocheting, and they're being part of the project anyway.
Right.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, my brain is kind of spinning. I'm thinking of a couple of people I could enlist.
That would be great.
What's the main goal of your community? I mean, I guess you've pretty much delineated that, but is there a main goal?
Well, we want to make we want How Bright Can We Shine to basically be almost a household name, that we are known as women who shine out, that we make a positive difference in our communities, in our local communities. We have a huge vision, Jane and myself, to bring together 1 million women globally. And again, I mean, that's 1 million women in our network, but just imagine the network that they have.
Right.
And I think by doing that, by us linking arms and sort of standing together and doing this to help one another, I think we can actually make an impact that is felt at a grassroots level. So that's our aim.
And who can be a part of the community?
Anybody, but well, obviously you've got to have the the technical side of it. That's one of the difficulties, as I've said, that we've noticed.
Yeah.
But anybody, we do reach out primarily to women. We do see ourselves as a network for women, but we do have men that are parts of the community. We haven't had anybody, actually, I was going to say we haven't had anybody knitting, but we have a young man who's 15 and he's knitting at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
really
anybody.
cool.
It's open to anybody. Okay.
It is.
So just a little aside, you live in a small town in Africa. How has your community been affected by COVID?
Sure. We've been impacted. I know globally everybody's been impacted, but I live in a small country called Eswatini, formerly Swaziland in southern Africa.
Mm-hmm.
We have a population of 1.3 million. We've been ravaged by HIV/AIDS to begin with. We have 70% of our population live below our poverty line, not the Western version of it, below ours. So we had issues to begin with, and compound that with the effects of COVID, with SMEs not being able to open for 6 months, businesses that have closed that will never reopen, people that have been retrenched, laid off, on cut salaries. So it's had a dire impact. Yeah. And we picked that up on our site. We've been amazing. We've had projects that have sprung up on our site where we've had crowdfunding in Canada and the UK that have been able to come over here and help us manufacture face masks, for example, for the local hospital. The nurses were on strike because they didn't have PPE.
Oh, geez.
And so one of the projects we had on our site was to enable us to be able to sew face masks and give them out for free to people who needed them.
Right. So that's the thing about being involved with your community. There's a lot of different ways you can be involved. You offer many different options for people depending on the time availability they have, or a number of factors.
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it. You can kind of dip your toe in, even if it's just to come in and be inspired by what you're seeing happening, and giving moral support to people who are out there doing things. I mean, whatever you've got available to give.
Right. So since you do have people from all over the world, do you have any plans? Is there going to be an opportunity someday for everyone to meet?
Yes. So we have what we call our annual Shine project, and the intention was this year would be our first one, but with COVID, obviously, it kind of blew us out of the water. We have got an annual project going on, and it is actually to help relieve an orphanage in Eswatini that has 360 children, and they've been hit hard. And so one of the projects, our annual project this year, is to raise funds to help them. So that is our first project, but we already have our sites. We have a young lady in Romania who is working with the Roma community, and she has a small team, but she's very much on her own. And so what we would like to do next year is for as many of us as possible to meet together in Romania, in whatever capacity we can, whether it's to go and paint or build or work with the kids, whatever it is that we can do to bless her over there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting.
Karen, about you. Tell us something that we may not know about you.
Ooh, juicy details.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this might interest you actually. So I was a journalist in Lesotho for almost a year. And during that time, I unearthed something that was going, and I better be careful what I say even now, I think. But anyway, there were underhand dealings going on at the time, and I was kind of uncovering stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And I got myself into some deep water, and my life was actually threatened.
Wow.
And so I hid out in the British High Commission for 3 days until the whole situation could be defused. So I spent 3 days in the British High Commission hiding. Well, and I had to drop the story, by the way. I was never allowed to publish the story.
Okay, yeah. Okay, don't say anything more. I don't want to be responsible for
No.
putting you in any danger. Wow, I
Yeah.
did not have any idea. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. My next question. So what would you tell someone who is looking to do something positive in their community? How would they begin? What would you tell somebody?
Start with the one. This has always been my go-to thing. I raise my children this way. You start with the one. So it's who is the one person that comes across your path that you are able to make a positive difference to, and start right there.
There.
Yeah.
All right, that's simple enough. I think anybody can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, my last question. I believe what you are doing is changing the world. You and your partner, Jane, you're already making a huge difference. What are you most grateful for?
I am most grateful for, and he's sitting there with his headphones on, so he can't hear this, for my husband, who is my rock. He's my hero, and he's been my greatest supporter. So I spent most of my life doing work that helps other people, but never getting a salary. So even at this time, going through COVID, where we're struggling, we're battling for an income like other business owners.
Yep.
And I'm still not earning a salary, but he's been my greatest supporter always. So
I love that.
That's who I'm most grateful for.
Well, wonderful. All right, that's my 10 questions. We went a little bit over, but not by much. So we did well. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Linda. May I leave us with a quote by Matthew Arnold, because this sums everything up nicely. If there ever comes a time when the women of the world come together purely and simply for the benefit of mankind, it will be a force such as the world has never known.
Wow.
That's what we're living.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.